This week, I'm really excited for this one. We're going to play Family Fortunes or the Family Feud. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, let's play the feud. Now, Ollie, all of these questions are NFL related. And the point of playing the game show, ladies and gentlemen, is so you can play along at home. If you're driving in the car, if you're doing a run or you're on a walk and you're listening to the podcast, you can play along. And I have got quite a few questions. We don't have to do them all, Ollie, but I'm going to work through them. And we're playing this game on the basis of this is the main board game. The board's up there, and I'm going to do our survey said and see whether you're right. And it's the top 5 in each of the categories that I'm going to go through, NFL related. Okay. Are you ready to play the feud?
I've never been more ready.
And it is Family Fortunes in the UK, obviously, but for some reason, calling it the feud seems to really appeal to me. So, the first category, Ollie, we've got is NFL career leaders all time passing touchdown to interception ratio. Now, top 5, you can't have number 1 because it's obvious. Okay, it is
Tom Brady.
no, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
Seriously.
oh, this is what people are gonna be excited by this now. I'm a ex-scout scheme nerd. Stuff like this just does not move my needle and does not cross my radar. So I'm about to, as they say in English, show my ass.
Okay, I love it. So we've got 5 answers on the board. The top 5 who lead
Touchdown to
NFL.
interception ratio. So I'm going percentage
Yeah,
or ratio. Who is the most clinical? Now, is there a minimum attempt?
10,000 yards passing because all the
Okay.
people I've seen have got over 10,000 yards in this list. So
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers TD to
Yep.
interception ratio is 4.83. So essentially that's 4.83 touchdowns to an interception. There's 4 more in the top 5, Ollie.
Okay.
I'm going to let you have 5 guesses at getting them. And if you want to give up at any point, you're allowed to.
Okay.
But who are the top 5 apart from Rodgers in history? And I suppose you have to consider here that the modern game has got probably far more accurate quarterbacks in terms of less interceptions, I would suggest.
Patrick Mahomes
is number 2. But you're right. 1 and 2 is Rodgers and Mahomes.
Okay, so I'm doing another guess now. I'm going to go with people who were high volume passers. I guess that's not necessary for 10,000 yards. Better better touchdown ratio to turnover ratio. Guys who are highly efficient. Drew Brees.
Our survey said no, Ollie, not Drew Brees.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Not Drew Brees.
So you've now got 3 left to get and only 3 guesses.
Only 3 guesses.
Drew Brees is 11th, 2.35.
Okay. 10,000 yards. Can I ask a question? That's not.
Yeah, of course you can.
Is there a name in there that is a player who we all acknowledge is average, but because of what this specific thing is, they're in the top?
You know what? Actually, no. The 3 players that remain behind Rodgers and Mahomes are all excellent, high quality, well regarded football players, as in they are known for their talent, Ollie. Very much so. There's no weird one in here. The person in at number 5, though, is an interesting name for this moment in time. Shall I say? That's all I'll say.
That is interesting. Okay, Russell Wilson.
Our survey said yes. Russell Wilson is 3rd, 3.36.
Oh, so I got 2 and 3. That's good. Okay, 4th, the interesting one. You name it, you immediately.
No, the fifth is the interesting one for this current moment in time. That's quite a big clue. And the 4th one is a volume one and an obvious one. So you should get these 2 now that I've just told you that.
Yeah, so it's Deshaun Watson.
Our survey said yes. Unfortunately, Deshaun Watson to survey Watson is number 5, 2.89. Who's number 4 then, Ollie? Let's do it quickly. Come on, big volume. He's played forever.
Tom Brady.
Our survey said yes. Rodgers, Mahomes, Wilson, Brady, and Watson. Okay, let's move on.
Quite good.
Let's move on to something a bit different. We're going to go to teams now, Ollie, in our next round, which is the top 5 teams in terms of. Now, I want you to get a clean sweep here, Ollie. Okay, this is my expectation of you, and I hope some of you can at home. World Championship titles, not just Super Bowls.
Oh, okay.
World Championship titles, top 5. Go for it.
Okay, top 5. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Our survey said yes, joint 4th, so 4th and 5th, 6th. There's 6 World Championships.
Okay. Green Bay Packers.
Our survey said, obviously, yes, the Packers. 13-time world champions. I know people will debate that. I don't care. 13, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, when they were playing in black and white with only whites is when they were winning all those titles.
Well, when through their eyes, it was in color.
The New England Patriots.
Our survey said yes, 6 titles as well, the same as the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Our survey said no, Ollie.
Oh,
5 from San Francisco. I'll
Five?
give you I'll give you the last chance to get the last 2. So these are between 13 and 6. They're the numbers we're talking about here.
Can you remind me of who I've said? I forgot.
You said the Packers, the Patriots, the Steelers, and you tried the 49ers, who are there with the Cowboys, the Colts, and the Washington. That's the first time I'm ever going to say this on the podcast. Commanders with 5 titles. 2 teams. One has 9, one has 8. Now, for the listeners at home and for Ollie, you need to think about longevity here in terms of teams that are long time tenured in the league that will have got titles before it became the Super Bowl.
When the only athletic player in the league was Jim Brown, perhaps, and he just ran the freight train through everyone. Is it the Cleveland Browns?
Our survey said no, not the Browns. The Browns have 4, Ollie. The final 2 on the list are the Chicago Bears with 9
Come on, man.
and the New York Giants with 6. You want to play another round?
Yes.
Okay, let's play because I've got quite a. They're a bit rubbish to just the people say. Okay, I really like this one. The bottom 5 teams in terms of win-loss percentage ratio in NFL history. The bottom 5 team in NFL history.
Wow. So you have to be bad.
Of active teams. So it's of the 32 that are in the league now, not like the New England silly nannies who played in the 20s for 1 year.
So you have to be not just considered losers, but you have to be consistently below average. That's how you drive that thing down.
It is if you've been in the league a long time, but I think something to consider, and this is a clue for you, Ollie, and those people playing at home. This is easier to do if you're a more recent franchise.
Well, yes, the Jags make the playoff once, but stink the rest of the time. So I'm going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Our survey said yes, the Jags. They're 31st. They have a win-loss ratio. They're 0.416 overall.
Really bad.
So that's not the worst.
It is actually hard to be that bad. I think I remember the first being the Lions.
No. Ollie, that's wrong. Our survey did not say that. I didn't even go to the sound effect because I was so shocked. Yeah. The Lions are actually 25th, Ollie, in the overall. They're 0.452. But they've played almost double the amount of games of some teams in this bottom 5. So try again, Ollie. Bottom 5. Playing along at home as well. Keep shouting at your podcast.
One thing that's throwing me here is the Cleveland Browns considered just the new organization. Do the Baltimore Ravens have the old Cleveland Browns record when they were good?
No. The Cleveland Browns, the records then went back when the team moved again. I know that. So the Cleveland Browns will contain those records that were decent.
So it's how much does Johnny Manziel and then
has it messed it up enough to get them in the bottom 5?
Get them past Jim Brown. This is an extraordinary decision to make. And then the Jets is a tough one because they're always bad, but then they have like 4 years of goodness. I'm still going to go with the Jets.
Our survey said no, just outside, Ollie. The Jets are 27th, 0.440. So there's 4 teams you've missed in this top 5. You've got Jacksonville. Now, I'm going to give you one more life. But if you get another one wrong, Ollie, you're done.
You have a chance to steal. And now I go straight in my mind to the Bungles, and yet I also have in my head that they did win a lot with when Bill Walsh was there, and they won quite consistently with Marvin Lewis, and that feels like quite a fair few years to string together. How am I missing the 32nd team?
It's actually quite surprising, Ollie. It's actually quite surprising. But you've got one more. Are you going with the Bengals? Or are you going to venture away from there?
Oh, I can't go with that because I know in my head that's going to be wrong. Let me just quickly as I talk.
Okay, you talk through and I'll just vamp as well because I definitely think that we should. This is in terms of game shows as well for the podcast. It's a really good one because all you need is a list, and I tell you what, it generates some good chat and it generates some thoughts in your head. I know at home you're listening, you're probably shouting the answer that Ollie can't get at your podcast or at your car radio now, whatever it is. Oh
no, I've played myself as well. I immediately then just jumped to the Texans. Then Gary Kubiak's face slapped me in my face. I thought, oh, they've not been around very long, and they were quite good in that era. And then Bill O'Brien won a ton of games, but they were so bad to begin, so bad. Oh, this is a hard game. I'll go back to the Bengals just to try and get that off the board.
Our survey said no, Ollie, 26th. The Bengals are 0.449, and I'm going to put you out of your misery now. So fifth from last, just behind the Bengals and the Jets, the Falcons, a 0.438.
Oh yeah, Atlanta's sneakily the loseriest loser town in all of America.
Nestling just behind them in 29th, Ollie, in terms of overall record, was the Texans, 0.433. Then in 30th, just above the Jags, who we've talked about, the Cardinals, 0.428. And 31st at the bottom of the barrel, and not by an inconsiderate gap, Ollie, at 0.402, whereas Jacksonville are 0.416. And having played twice as many games as the Jacksonville Jaguars as well, nearly. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Of course. Clouded by the Brady of it all when they've been the worst franchise in the league for 4 decades.
Exactly. That's why it was hard to see. Anyway, I'm gonna.
The Cardinals one. They've had about 9 iterations of the franchise, right? So they've been around since like the 20s. So
they have.
That's been an insane number of games.
Now I'm going to forgo some other items that are on our running order because we've got things we can repeat every week, Ollie, and stick with this. I'm going to do one more round and then we'll go to questions for the listeners. Are you ready?
Wait, does that mean that we're dropping what, how do you pronounce it?
Synonsense that we played last week. Yeah, we'll do some more synonsense next week.
Nonsense.
I know. Well, I've got one synonsense for you. I'll throw it in now. Synonsense, ladies and gentlemen, is the game where I come up with another name for a footballing term. I'll do one after this, Ollie. I'll do one after this. We'll play that game. We'll do just one after this. So, Ollie, final round of Family Fortunes, Family Feud. Let's play the feud. Here we go. So, alternatively, Ollie, this is most playoff wins since 2000. So, in the last 22 years, top 5, have at it.
Okay, Patriots.
Our survey said, yes, the Patriots, number 1 with 42 games played, 30 wins. That is a lot.
They win a lot of football games. The Seahawks.
Our survey said, yes, 4th, Ollie, 27 games played, 14 wins.
You said since 2000, right?
Since 2000. So you've got 2 of the top 5. You need slot 2, 3, and 5.
Playoff wins, the Packers. They win.
Our survey said, correct, Ollie. 5th, 29 games, 14 wins. Although there is another team with 14 wins, the Philadelphia Eagles. So I would have accepted both. So now, Ollie, you're looking at, you want the number 2 and the number 3 since 2000. Now, I believe you can do this without any mistakes. So I'm not giving you any lives. If you get one wrong, you're done. Okay. So 2 more to get.
The number 2, is it incredibly obvious? Since 2000, that has to be the Colts.
Is that your answer, Ollie? I'm going to give you a chance to assess that and think about the teams that have done well since 2000 in the NFL. Because I can see why you've said the Colts.
Well, I get all of Peyton and I get Andrew Luck.
You do. Andrew Luck wasn't around for as long as you think he was. I'm clearly leading you here, Ollie.
I'm aware. And then there's the Broncos eras. How many years of the Broncos have they had Peyton for a little bit?
To be fair, the Colts, I'll tell you this now, they've won 13 games, so they are just outside that Green Bay, Philadelphia, Seattle.
The problem with this as well is Peyton had the bye every time.
He did.
You need teams that rack up consistent wild card wins here.
I like your thinking.
Okay, so the Steelers.
Our survey said, yes, 15 wins in 27 games played. So that leaves you with 1 more to get, Ollie. And this is a team that has won 16 games in 27 games played. So you've had the Patriots, the Steelers, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Eagles just outside, and the Colts that we've talked about. So it can't be any of those teams. So you're searching for 1 more.
Is this team in a division with one of those teams?
Yes.
Really? Hoping you would say no.
That's surely that makes it obvious, though. So they're either in the AFC East, the AFC North, the NFC West, or the NFC North. I'm not counting the Eagles and the Colts. So it's in one of those divisions.
I really want to say the Ravens. The Ravens.
Our survey said, yes, Ollie, a full house for the final round of the game. You did a great job, my friend. Well done. And that, Ollie, is the end of the Family Feud, is the end of Family Fortunes. That's a great way to start our game shows.
Ooh, that's
Brilliant.
great. I think I get 2 out of 3. Not bad.
Yeah, you did pretty well, Ollie. Yeah, I think you got two. I think you maybe got 2 rounds right. I may have done 4 or 5 rounds there. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed that at home. Let us know your scores. If you got them absolutely perfect all the way through, please tell us, mcfsquestions@gmail.com, but we might not believe you.